Hello everyone, it is Rory and Tim here at that Eurovision site. We are in Malmö for Eurovision 2024. Ewan is also here behind the camera as well, making sure that we're all there. Hopefully you can see his hand, it's very funny. Yes, we are here for Eurovision 2024, getting our content, looking at the rehearsals and everything like that. And I guess it's time to chat about some semi-final 2.
Yes.
First rehearsal. You know, 16 acts took to the stage for their first rehearsals. As we're recording this, some of the second semi-finalists will be doing their second rehearsal, but we are mostly kind of paying attention to the pictures and the TikToks that we had got from the first rehearsal.
Yes.
And I guess just to kind of get things going, I mean, what have you been making of like the second semi-final so far in terms of the first rehearsals?
Yeah, okay, then, but before we start that, let's actually just dive in quickly. Who is participating in this?
Yes,
so we got
should do that.
Malta, Albania, Greece, Switzerland, Czechia, Austria, Denmark, Armenia, Latvia, San Marino, Georgia, Belgium, Estonia, Israel, Norway, and the Netherlands.
Breathe, child, breathe.
Okay. All right, just moving on. I think I can make a case for everyone in this semi. There will be, opinions, but everyone has a case to be in the final, which is making my life a bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Because I know which ones I want, and I know I'm not going to get all the 10 that I like. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I was saying this before. I think it's really hard to predict this semi-final because it's so much more open. Like, first semi-final is where you have a lot of these heavy hitters, and you'd think that is naturally the more hard one to predict, but because so many of them are so sort of open within this second semi-final, like like how you said, it is very easy to make a case for any of them to make it through. And I mean, we've seen a very interesting performances going from a lot of the different artists this year, so I mean, we might as well just kind of get started. I mean, who are some of the ones that were really like a big standout to you?
Okay, I'll name 3. First of all, Georgia. Like, I liked Pyro, the smoke, Nutsa in her gold gear, just spelling out the firefighter vibes.
Yeah.
We all know that Nutsa is a very capable vocalist and a performer, so I would be very, very, very surprised and shocked if she does not make it past this semi-final. I don't know what else Georgia can do because they've done all they can. Like, it's literally up to the voters' hands. So we'll see about that next week. Second of all, I would say Greece. Like, when I first heard that, that rumor swirling around where one shot, one take, yada yada,
yeah.
and it's like one shot with a bit of change of camera angle in the end. And I thought of Margaret in Mello in 2018, and when she did In My Cabana, and I was like, I wasn't like I like the vibes, but when I saw this, and when I saw the how I think it might work, I think it might. I like it. I just need to see the full rehearsal for it to work because I've no I have no way of judging it both up. But she's slaying the dancers, and I think they're using the stage quite well. And third is, of course, the Papa of Europe Papa, the Netherlands. Yeah. I knew that we were going to get something unhinged, and we did.
I mean,
what the hell is that bird about? And who the hell's that bird by, Youse. Loved it, and I love the funniness, the kindness. It's just that you don't have to understand for you to enjoy yourself. It's in Dutch, but I quite enjoyed it. And I don't know if anybody talked about this, but during the clip, you saw Joost in cartoon or Sims form or something running towards his parents, and obviously he dedicated Europe Papa to his parents.
Yeah.
So that kind of touched my heart a little bit there. As a fan, because I delved in deeper, so knowing that meaning is I nearly wanted to cry.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, this for me, it's so hard because so many of them are really, really strong. I think some of the main ones for me that I think are the biggest growers are the ones that are standing out, are the ones that sort of grew the most in my opinion. So the first one, I kind of have to give a shout out to Malta, because I'm not the biggest fan of the song, but I can still understand that it's really quite a good pop song. But yet, once we actually got the staging, it actually was so much more polished compared to what it was at Benidorm Fest. Not even Benidorm Fest.
No, I was about to say Benidorm, excuse me.
Not Benidorm Fest.
Not
sorry.
Benidorm Fest.
It's because it reminded me so much
Of
about
Chanel.
Chanel. So that's probably why. But I think that's definitely something good to take from that, though, because I think it is like, it was very a well polished performance for Chanel with Benidorm Fest. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to recreate that now. And yeah, so I was really, really happy with that. And I mean, Sarah's giving vocally. I mean, it sounds amazing. And like, you know, I'm really intrigued by this sort of industrial kind of landscape that they've got going on in the background.
Yeah.
So I'm really intrigued to see how that's going to come out. I also have to give a huge shout out to Greece as well, because Greece being my number one this year, I absolutely love it. Well, basically, yes. Helena Paparita be damned. But no, genuinely, I think this is so interesting. Like, with the way that it's filmed in one take, at least from what we've seen from the TikTok, it looks really intriguing, because it's not really something. The last time that there was one take was Treintje Oosterhuis in 2015, and that was more of a risky kind of performance, whereas this one, it matches the song very well. So I think it looks really, really good. And then I think the other one that I really do like the look of as well would be Norway, to be honest. I mean, it's not really anything too different from MGP, but also at the same time, it's still like elevated to a whole new level. And from what we've seen, like, I mean, Gunhild's vocals are amazing, and you know, the guys are completely just losing themselves on the stage as well. I mean, we're hearing things that it's going to be a huge moment on the actual like night, so we might as well sort of gear up for the absolute chaos that's about to break out. I cannot wait to see how it's going to go. So kind of going into second rehearsals and sort of like into the rest of the things, who would you like to, like, what would you like to see more out of from these other ones? Do you think, is there any countries that can like maybe tweak a couple of extra things just to give it an extra chance?
I'd say Musti, because I know that not everyone was a fan of the whites. Like, Musti wore the black throughout the pre-party, and I think if you're wanting a bit more of the darker tone, I think the black would have been. It's kind of like an Anja Nissen kind of thing, like, you know,
Not Anja Nissen.
like you know the dress in Kiev. It did not work. Just go back to the black, like Amy Winehouse would say. But like, you know, I think that suited the tone a bit better. For me personally, before you all come for me.
Well,
second, I'd say Dons. Like,
okay,
we got the circular thing. It's a circle.
circle is the circle,
yeah,
guys.
But I don't know. Maybe move around a bit more. I don't know if that was meant to be the, you know, he's just around. He does move, but like, I don't know what else he can do. I'm just lacking a bit of oomph. Don's vocals is there. I just don't know what else he can do, which makes my heart a bit difficult, because I'm starting to, the song is growing on me.
Yeah.
So that's a difficulty. But yeah, those are my two, though, I'd say, like, maybe a bit of a...
Yeah. No, I get that. I think you are right with Belgium. I think because it's such a fan favourite, I think people weren't necessarily sure what to expect. And I think they have gotten a good stage concept with the microphones kind of thing, because we've seen it a couple of times actually during the national final season. Several different artists have come out with a similar stage concept, which I do think is good. I think it works well, but I think the outfit does need to get changed. Even though it's like really optimistic, and, you know, white is that kind of color of brightness and everything, but whereas like the black kind of just looks a little bit classier, I would feel. So yes, I would agree with you on Belgium, but I think, you know, vocally he still has it in the bag, I think. The other one that I'm a little bit worried about, I would say, is Switzerland, which is saying something, because at the moment we recorded this, Switzerland has just dropped from being the favourite to being second favourite, with Croatia now becoming the favourite again. And it's because I think the styling for Nemo, I appreciate it, but I don't know whether or not it complements the song. So I if it was me, I would have given them a completely different look, just as a way to help them feel a little bit more themselves. You know, I think they've got some really interesting concepts, again, like with this kind of weird spinning platform kind of thing, but also at the same time, the vocals are going to be fine. It's just they need to make sure that they're tweaking every like moment, every angle, every frame, just to make sure that like the world is immersed in Nemo's sort of performance, because otherwise it's just gonna look a little bit empty, I guess. But I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, that Switzerland can pull it out of the bag again. I mean, like, we've seen them going on from John's Tears to Marius Bear to Rima Forer. They are on a bit of a streak right now, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, they can actually add to it. So
Kittens gonna come for you, know that, right?
Oh yes, Kittens. Look, Kittens. I love Nemo. Don't get me wrong, I love Nemo, but I need to make sure that like all the bits are being hit. But yeah, so just like sort of one final thing. I mean, like, what are your sort of predictions for what semi-final 2 might sort of come out like?
In terms of qualifiers, or
yeah, let's go for that. I mean, based off first rehearsals, obviously.
First rehearsals. Let me get the list up again. Okay, so Greece, Switzerland, Czechia, Georgia, Belgium, Estonia, and I know that we're not saying it, but we have to be realistic here.
Mm-hmm.
Israel, Norway, Netherlands. And if I were to give a 10th, Austria.
Oh yeah, completely forgot about Austria. Yeah.
Sorry, I am gonna rave. It's just that that was a tricky one. What about you?
Yeah. So for me, let me just get a look at the list here. I would probably say Greece, Switzerland for sure, Austria, Armenia, obviously, Georgia, Belgium, Estonia. I mean, to be honest, pretty much most of the second half. So yeah, like obviously Israel would be very likely to qualify too.
Yeah.
Norway, Netherlands, and if there was a sneak in, I would probably say Denmark, because they have kind of elevated the staging from DMGP.
An actual sand. Like I think from what I saw on the TikTok, it was a pocket. Like she had it on her pocket, and you go like. I don't know what the actual movements were, but like I think I saw it, she put it in her pocket.
Yeah, so it'll be really interesting to see how that actually makes it onto the stage. But this one for me is really hard to kind of figure out. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we get some.
I'm having a weird 2019 deja vu.
Oh really?
Because, like, you know how like only one from the first half and everybody else came from the second half.
Yeah, it's like kind of similar to that.
Yeah, I'm a bit like. It's going to be tight.
Yeah, definitely. But of course, this is just what we think. What do you guys think? Obviously, you've all been seeing the first rehearsals too. You've seen the pictures and the TikToks. Let us know what you think. Who do you think is qualifying? Who do you think is a standout? Obviously, comment down below. Let us know what you think. We are continuing to get our stuff here at Malmö. We're talking to the artists. We are getting our reviews in at the same time. So please do continue to follow us on all of our social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, Tumblr, Blue Sky, pretty much anything. Anyway, like honestly, that's all.
You got it right. You actually got it right.
Did I actually?
Yeah, you actually got it right.
Yes, let's go through. And of course, follow us on our podcast as well, That Eurovision Podcast, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at That Euro Podcast. The That Euro site is what the handle is for all of the other ones for That Eurovision site. And I hope you're ready for another really interesting Eurovision Song Contest 2024.
Yeah.
So shall we say goodbye?
Hej då!
Hej då!